Man, it's a wild trade deadline day up in New York. The Jets unloaded Sauce Gardner to the Colts a little bit earlier, and just now have executed a trade with the Dallas Cowboys. They're sending Quinnen Williams, who's made a couple Pro Bowls for the Jets, to the Cowboys. They are loading up on draft capital there in New York, and looks like the Saints are attempting to do some of the same. They just don't quite have the assets, but the Saints have made one move today. They sent Rashid Shaheed to Seattle. They get a 4th-round pick and a 5th-round pick in 2026. So I want to put this in context with all of the moves that the Saints have made at wide receiver in the last few months, and then kind of talk about what this means with Shaheed and where the Saints are headed at the position. So it started with the Ja'Kai Polk trade. The Saints get Polk, who is out for the year, and a 2028 7th rounder. I'm glad they got a 7th round pick in 2028, but I can't really spend a lot of time on that today. With the Patriots got the Saints 2027 6th round pick, which is another draft from now, 2 drafts from right now. So you get Polk, rookie, former 2nd round pick, talent you like, potentially, a guy you can insert in as a key piece to your passing game that is not playing right now and is out of sight, out of mind for most Saints fans, but he's there on the shelves. Then you go get Devon Vele. The Saints got Vele, who's under contract through the 2027 season. They sent Denver a 2026 4th rounder, so this next draft, a 4th round pick, and then in the following draft, a 7th round pick in 2027. So you were out a 4th round pick in this coming draft. You send Rashid Shaheed to Seattle, you get a pick back in that round. Now, it's going to be worse because the Saints pick in that round is going to be significantly higher than the Seahawks pick in that round, but you traded a 4th rounder away, you got a 4th rounder back. You also get a 5th round pick. So now, as the Saints look at this draft coming up in 2026, the next draft, they've got their 1st round pick, 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick, Seattle's 4th round pick. They traded theirs away. They also have a 4th round pick potentially coming if Isaac Yiadom doesn't meet his snap requirements, which the Saints are technically in control of. We'll see. So that would be a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 2 4ths, 2 5ths now with the Shaheed pick, and a 6th round pick. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 selections right now in this upcoming draft, and you part ways with Rashid Shaheed. I realize that Rashid Shaheed is a fan favorite. He's an exciting player. He makes big plays, and he is an asset on this team, and he's not overly old. He's 27 years old. However, this is how this works. The Saints, as we chronicled yesterday, as you're all very well aware in watching this team play, are nowhere near being a functional football team. Not even close. This is a line I used on yesterday's show. I find it to be true. They're not approaching league average at any position on the field. So you've got to get younger and cheaper. And Rashid Shaheed, at 27, entering his free agent year, like he is a free agent after this season, like is not getting younger or cheaper at all. And to get younger and cheaper, you've got to give assets. And the Saints don't have a lot of them. So you trade Rashid Shaheed off. He's going to be great in Seattle in Clint Kubiak's offense with one of the best receivers in the league in Jackson Smith and Jigba. Him playing the number 2, like he's going to be great there. And you got some draft capital. The point of this matter is not whether or not Mickey Loomis and Ireland and the whole crew up there can hit on these draft picks, because that's a whole different discussion. The only way you can do this is to get draft picks. So you have to give something of value to get value back. You can't get a 1st round pick for Cesar Ruiz. You can't ship off Alvin Kamara for a 1st round pick. Like, you have to give some value. Shaheed has value to get that value. And let's be frank. Like, do we think the Saints are going to be really good next year? I don't. So the older Rashid Shaheed gets, the more expensive he gets. He's not in your window. Rashid Shaheed's probably not in your window. It sucks, but it just is what it is. You need draft picks. And Rashid Shaheed nets draft picks. So now you look at the wide receiver room. I would be for the Saints trading Chris Olave. We'll see. They've picked up his option. We'll see if they extend him this year. But you've got Ja'Kai Polk coming. You now have snaps available for Devon Bailey, who you inexplicably traded for with your draft capital that's so important and then aren't putting on the field. So now you can because Shaheed is not here. And you get a pick back for that. This is not a grand slam. It's not a home run, but it is the right thing to do. This is where the Saints are. And every time that phone rings between now and 3 o'clock, you've got an hour and 37 minutes. The Saints ought to be answering, and they ought to be in trade mode. Because there are very, very few pieces to that roster that I look at right this second and go, you really don't need to trade that player. I would say that about Kelvin Banks. I would suggest that about Taliesin Fuaga. I would probably say the same thing for Eric McCoy. And beyond that, and maybe Tyler Shuck, Kool-Aid McKinstry, I don't even know how to put Kool-Aid in that mix. Like, you really don't have anybody that's off limits. That's where you are. You need draft capital, you need picks, and you need to clear up money. And now the Saints not going to be on the hook for any sort of extension and long-term deal with Rashid Shaheed. You're going to pay his base salary. Seattle's going to pick up the bonus structure of that moving forward, and that comes off the books next year. And you're just going to have to continue to whittle that down. And eventually Cam Jordan comes off the books, and eventually DeMario Davis comes off the books, and Ramchick's coming off the books, and like Matthews come off the books, and you're going to start to clear up some of that money. It's going to take some time, but you got to do it. And then you've got to hit on these picks. They did a good job in this draft of making the selections. Like, not the players they got, actually using them instead of trading up to get one player. They used those picks, spread them out, and you're seeing some of these guys get to the field now. You're going to see some Devin Neal moving forward. You're seeing some Jonas Sanka right now. You're going to see Quincy Riley. Like, we'll see if they can get Vele on the field with the trade they made for him. Like, you're going to see some of these guys the rest of the season, not to mention Shuck, who's got the keys to the offense now. You're going to see Kelvin Banks. You're going to see Fuaga. And you hope. I'm not feeling great about what I've seen from those guys, but they're still very young, and you've got enough. You're getting picks here that you can use. But my sincere hope is over the next hour and a half that we see that the Saints have made some more moves. And quite frankly, the bigger the name, hopefully the better the return. There just aren't any guys on this team that are cornerstones. You just saw the New York Jets move off Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. Now, their return was way better. The Jets got 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner, got another one for Quinnen Williams. But the Saints don't have any of those players. They don't have any mid-20s Pro Bowl guys. They just don't. Like Rashid Shaheed made it as a punt returner a couple years ago, and this is the best you can do. But they got a reasonable haul for him. And you're just got to stockpile that draft capital and then use it. I understand the Saints fans that are looking at this going, who cares about the draft capital? These guys can't make picks. And I understand that. We discussed this yesterday. The confidence level that you've got in this front office is right to be low. But maybe they can just hit like they did a few years ago in that draft that netted them some Pro Bowlers and an All-Pro. And that's your only hope. You have no hope if you stand pat with this roster. Extend Shaheed, extend Olave, you extended Kamara, and you extended Juwan Johnson. Like, you have no hope sticking with this group. There's a line in Angels in the outfield. You have to start trading them, all of them now. And that's how I feel about this Saints organization. They may need some divine intervention, and quite frankly, they've got the right team name to get that involved. The Angels can get it in that movie, maybe the Saints can get it here. But not counting on divine intervention, let's go ahead and get some draft picks. And the Saints did that with Rashid Shaheed. So it's good for Shaheed. He goes to a great spot that I think he's really going to flourish in. And the Saints need to do more. Get more draft picks. If you get enough of them, if you get a 9, 10, 11 pick haul, maybe you can move up here and there to take a guy in the second round or in the third round that you want to move up for. And then you don't limit the amount of players that you're bringing in. You got to get as many lottery tickets as you can. And when the Saints were going into drafts with 5 draft picks and then trading 2 of them away to move up 6 spots in the first round, you're just not bringing enough guys. Bring in more guys. You hate to see Rashid Shaheed go because of how fun it is to watch him play. Fact of the matter is, he doesn't fit into the Saints window. The window's down the road. And the guys that fit into that window are playing college football right now. You've got to draft them. And the Saints did a good job here of going ahead and getting draft capital where they could get it. Did it with Marshawn Lattimore last year, doing it with Shaheed this year. Hopefully there's more to come in the next 90 minutes down in New Orleans. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.